Hello and welcome back to the channel. And on today's video, we're going to be going over why if you're too emotional, it really can damage your portfolio. I'm also going to go over the methods that I implemented and how I was able to turn my portfolio over £100,000 this year. And if you do stick around till the end of the video, there is a giveaway for the previous subscriptions to the channel. And if you do want to get involved in the future ones, don't forget to like and comment on the videos. And every milestone, we do another giveaway. So let's get into the video. So the first thing that we're going to touch on today is why are you investing? You really have to ask yourself that question before you start anywhere else. Is it for short-term gains? Are you swing trading stocks? Is it for 5 to 10 years because you want to put it towards a house? Is this for 20 to 30 years because you want to do your retirement? Again, everybody's age group is going to be different. If you're 18 to 30, you might have a really more risk appetite and you might do a lot of individual riskier speculative stocks. If you're 30, 40, 50, you might be starting to think about being more defensive, might just be ETF based, maybe even dividend based. So it's all about your perspective on where you are and where your goal is. Now, some of the things that I ask people all the time, they'll be talking about individual stocks and I'll say, well, what's your price target? I say, I ain't got one. Well, how can you run a race if you don't know where the finish line is? You really need to have these fundamentals in place, because if you're not, you're going to end up, people will be invested in stocks, you'll just be copying, you'll just be there, they'll end up cashing out their price targets, the stock might end up plummeting, and you'll be asking yourself the question, well, why did this happen? And you'll be getting a bit flustered, and it'll be because you didn't do your own price targets and you didn't really have that conviction in that stock. Investing's a little bit like planting a tree. You plant a seed, you water it, you nurture it, and it grows into something great. You really need to understand what game are you playing, because your game is going to be different to everybody else's game. So it's really about sorting out the very basics of why we're doing this, what are we doing it for, and what are our price targets, and what is it that we really want to invest into. Composure and conviction. And that's the next thing that we're going to speak on. Now, this type of stuff comes hand in hand, and we're going to go over a story of one of the guys that is in the Discord server from April and March, and a lot of the other people that this was happening to. And then again, I'm going to give some tips on how I'm so composed, how I have so much conviction, and how it all works out for me. So like many people in March and April, when there was the correction, the crash, whatever you'd like to call it, a lot of people, quite frankly, lost their minds. I spent a good chunk of my time reassuring people, trying to calm people down. I mean, I was so stoic, and so few of us were so locked in that moment at a time that, and our results show for it now. It was a weird time, but obviously for people that really were in a lot of stocks, for instance, Marley was in 15 stocks and 5 ETFs. That's so spread. He had about 20 to 40 grand spread across these positions, and all of them were down. It was, I can understand why people were getting emotional, was getting worked up, but something switched in my head and I was just so locked in it, and I was just seeing such opportunities, and I know many other people was too, and there was lots of opportunities to seize. And Marley was asking questions like, is this going to stop? Is this now time to buy this? Is this Mag 7 going to be the one to buy? It was really like no convictional questions, sort of seeking for other people's approvals. Now, me and Marley had a bit of a conversation, and at some point when he was going down real bad on some of his stocks, and he was debating selling all of his positions. And obviously it's a lot of money to see people go down. And me and a few other people were able to sort of calm people down into thinking logically instead of emotionally. And Marley absolutely kills it nowadays. His conviction's unreal. He's learned so much, and I'm going to post a before and after picture of his portfolio now, because he's over £200,000 now in his portfolio from that in March and April. And some of the stuff he does now is phenomenal. And I mean, a lot of us are proud of a lot of the members in the chat, which you're going to see further on in the video. But it just goes to show that as long as you've got composure and you just stay calm, think logical, not rational, have conviction in your stocks, as long as you know, and you've spent this much time on your stocks, you know, subconsciously, obviously they're not always going to do it, but subconsciously you know your stocks are going to do well. So if you see a pullback, you see it's more of a buying opportunity, a discount, more than it is a, oh my god, I've done something wrong, let me sell this stock. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people, because they'll follow what other people do, and then they'll pick them, they'll drop 10%, 20%, which happens, and then they'll panic and sell. XYZ block was another great one. Had a really bad earnings. It plummeted. I read up on it, looked into it, spent a lot of time on it, got convicted. I was like, that looks like a really great stock. bought into it 3 days, 4 days later, shot nearly back up to where it was. A month or two later, S&P 500 inclusion, sold it for a great profit. It's about seizing opportunity, conviction, and I think a big part of this as well is networking, because if you've got good people around you that you can communicate with and talk to and bounce ideas, it seems a lot easier when you're all on the same page, or at least somebody you can bounce your ideas at. You can meet in the middle. I remember before I built this server with my two other guys, and we had this phenomenal. I remember being on my own, and I sold Palantir at 20, sold some others, great mistakes, but because you follow stuff, you read stuff on the news, you read stuff on the internet, and all of a sudden your whole mindset can just get shifted left and right, and it can get really, really dark sometimes. Now, conviction, where's it come from? How'd you get it? Now, this is a sort of saying I use to people all the time, and the fact of the matter is, let's say a minimum wage person, they'll go to work for 160 hours a month for minimum wage, and they'll be able to invest maybe £500 of that a month. But you've just worked 160 hours to get that money to invest with. So why is it that when it comes to investing, some people, and when it comes to a lot of people actually, can't be bothered to spend 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 hours on researching, looking at graphs, looking at earnings calls? Everybody just wants to look 5, 10, 15 minutes, find a stock and be done with it. Well, how much is that money really worth to you? Because money is just the object, it's the time about that. So if you spend so much time earning this money and locking these funds in, why is it you only spend so little time doing the research and doing the background checks on all these stocks and stuff like that? And it really, something that I try and echo to a lot of people, because I'll sit here some nights for 10, well, not obviously 10 hours in one night, but like a lot of time over the night, and then spend like 10, 20, 30, 40 hours looking into stocks over a period of time, and then still don't invest in them. It's just the way it is sometimes, but you get better and you get a keen eye for it. So I think conviction comes from research, comes from price targets, comes from really actually doing due diligence. I think the emotion side from it comes from composure. Step back, take a breath. Sometimes it really is about blocking out the noise, zooming out and log out. Because this year we've had some pullbacks when Elon and Trump were having their tiff and stuff like that. But then when you zoom out and you're still up 100% for the year, it's really not that bad, is it? So sometimes you need to zoom out, log out. And sometimes you need to just only invest what you can afford to lose as well. Because I see some people over leverage themselves, and that's where a lot of the emotion comes from. Find a happy medium. Find something in the middle where you're sort of happy to lose it, because there's a risk all the time that you can lose it. But then don't overexpose yourself. And again, I think they're just a few of the things that you can really pinpoint, and you can look at Marley's example, and there's lots of people in the server which I'm going to go through, and my own experiences selling Palantir so low, but now I've been able to turn £40,000 this year into £100,000. So it goes to show, if you've got conviction, you're willing to put in the time, you're willing to earn more, you learn effectively, then you're always going to really be a winner, even if you lose. Now, this next point is one of my absolute most hated things in life: copy trading. And we've all been there. We're all experienced. Sometimes we just get so complex just looking at it, and you just want to look at people on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever, and they're doing so well, and you're just like, oh, it's easy to do that. I remember doing it when I was like 18 years old, and I copy trading. It actually put me off investing for like 4 years, and then I ended up falling back into it after that. Copying other people, it's never going to end well. It's lazy. It's straight up is lazy, and always lazy, and you have to own that sometimes. And I think that's some self-accountability. It's just, if you do well off a couple trades, you're lucky. But the fact of copy trading, it's just a big con with these people that charge you for it and stuff like that. And again, like I say, it's lazy. Just put in the work. The best thing you can do is just be a sponge. Ask questions. That's why you got 2 ears. Like, you're meant to listen more than you are speak. Just ask as many questions as possible. Read as many books as possible. Constantly got books everywhere. Just learn. And obviously, then when you learn, you have a lot more conviction. And the reason why I say this again is that people on TikTok I see, and it really bothers me, because especially when you get these bigger portfolios, instantly, as soon as you've got 100,000 or this, people just feel like they have to listen to you. It's not true at all. And there was a guy on TikTok, I'm not going to name names, never going to do it, never going to try and talk down on anyone, but it really bothered me because they were swing trading ETFs, and they sold at the high, sold at the low, sorry, and then they were sitting 99% cash, and it's rocketed up because they called it wrong. And now they've got this real conviction and anger again, and showing it to all their followers of, oh, AI is just like the 3D glasses back in the day. It's just a bubble. It's just going to pass. Well, this year's showing different, and I don't feel like it is. But if you have those opinions, is that opinion there because you missed out and you messed up, and now you're trying to drag everybody else into your failure? Or is it there because that's something you genuinely believe? And if that's something you genuinely believe in, that's your conviction. But the fact that you're sitting in this bull run that we're in, and you're sitting 99% cash, says to me, you made a mistake. You're angry at yourself. You're bothered with it, and now you're just going to keep broadcasting to not make it look like you made a mistake. And to me, it's just, I don't get it. And comparing AI to 3D glasses and stuff, it just made me laugh, and I just moved straight on. But it sat with me, and it resonates with me that sometimes people make mistakes, and that's where you've got to be careful with copy trade. And you see people do good on these platforms, and it doesn't. Just all I say is take inspiration. That's most of my stocks I've found, because I've seen somebody talk about it, or I've seen it there, or seen it there, and then I've gone and done my own due diligence and gone, actually, this is a winner. It's not the fact that I go, oh, well, he's got 250 grand in his account, so he's right, so let me copy his portfolio. Well, no, because he's already there. He's already absorbed those gains. Sometimes the ship's a long sailed, like, so again, that's what I say. Stay away from copy trading. Learn yourself. If you see someone doing well in a stock, take the stock as inspiration and go from there. One of my favorite sayings of all time: comparison is the thief of joy. It's not about where other people are in life. It's about where you are and what you're doing. And through this section of talking about stuff like this, I'm going to be popping up a lot of the portfolios from the guys in the group. And some of them will have a portfolio of £3,000, but with 300% gains. And other people you'll see have got over £100,000, £200,000, and one guy's even got over £700,000 from this year alone. But it doesn't make that person any smarter than the guy that's got the £10,000 portfolio. Now, the reason I say this is because Brad, who helps me run the server, and Beast, who is another guy who's in the server, found Ondas Holdings, in January and February. They flagged it to everyone. It was 89 cents a share. Nobody really listened. A few people like Alessio and stuff put it on their watch list, which is fine. Nobody really listened, and then a couple of months later, we all started getting on board. We all started doing due diligence together. You can see Ondas here on the left-hand side on the server bar, and we all started getting in around the 2 region. Every single last one of us is just making bank on this stock. It's now sitting up 6 something as of today. Can't have a look right now because I'm doing this video now. And that's why it's about networking as well. Because when you've got so many people just all chipping in all this due diligence together, it makes many hands that make light work. It makes it so much easier, because my 10 hours now of due diligence has just been shortened down to 2 hours, because I've still got to read everything. I've still got to look through it, but everyone's working together. And this is where, like, I might have £50,000 to put into this stock. Brad might have £20,000, but then Brad found it. So comparison, don't let it be a thief of joy. It doesn't make anybody smarter because they've got more money. It doesn't make them smarter because, or any of those reasons. Returns is what matters. And again, it's like I say, you just focus on your own path, focus on what you're doing, and don't be looking and thinking, oh, well, he's earned 100 grand this year. I'm doing something wrong. I need to advance quicker. I need to do it. No, just focus on you and the path that's in front of you. Just want to say thank you to everybody for their continued support on the channel. To be at 650 subscribers when I only started this year is phenomenal. And every 100 subscribers that we hit, we do another giveaway. I like to give back to people for showing their continued support, so thank you. The next one, we are on 650 something already, so the next one will be at 700. So we're going to do 3 prizes on this. We're going to do the £100 cash, or whatever they want to have a giveaway. We're going to do £50, and that can either be a membership into the Discord server for a year, or it can be an Amazon voucher. And a third prize will strictly be a year subscription into the Discord server. That one won't be able to be changeable, so still £200 worth of gifts to be given away. I don't see many YouTubers doing that when they're just showing appreciation back to their guys. If you do want to join the Discord server, there will be a QR code on your screen, or the link is in the description, and it is $4.99 a month or $49.99 for the year. And well, you've seen some of the guys grow, some of the portfolio, the networking. It's like 18p a day or something, so it's definitely worth it. So without further ado, let's shuffle up these names and give them a good shuffle. And so for the first person, for £100, we're going to be giving this away to... Oh, I never felt good about giving money back before. It's great. We'll be happy with that. Alessio, the one, fair play. So, mate, got me a message. Obviously, one of the lads out the server. So, there we go. Rightio. Then for the 50, let's have a go. So, it's for the 50. This one is obviously for an Amazon voucher, a year in a server, whichever one you want to decide. Oh, it's going to stop. Iceland. Just said that wrong. Again, all members will have to prove that these are the owners of the accounts. I take screenshots of all their accounts and get all data, because you'd be amazed at how many people try and scam this. It's crazy. And for the third and final, and this is strictly for a membership into the Discord for a year, so all that knowledge for nothing. And the third person is going to be so always going to keep 100, going to keep it honest. The thing is, Don's already got one because he's one of our pushers, so he's already got his 3 years worth of it, and he's going to be good because he's been doing this for ages. So I'm going to move that. I'm going to do it again. I mean, I'm going to be fair, I'm going to be honest. So let's get somebody else on there. So the next person to get a free year in the Discord server. There you go, Rob. You might be able to learn the knowledge that we always talk about. Again, I connect with a lot of the people, or I know a lot of the people, so it's fantastic. So again, thank you very much for supporting the video. And if you do want to get interested in one of the other ones, comment on the videos, and I do appreciate all the support. So thank you very much.